I was holding my 8-year-old brother against my chest inside the hotel cold room when I realized Clara had not just framed me. She had decided Leo and I were easier to erase than explain. The metal shells bit into my back. Frost blurred the little window. Leo tried to breathe slowly because I kept telling him to look at me, only me. On the other side of the wall, people were still clapping for the charity gala, where my stepmother had just called me a thief. My name was on a fake bank account. My voice was in a fake confession. And the proof that could save me had fallen out of the lining of Clara's designer purse in front of the one woman she could not charm. The woman who locked us in there was not a stranger. She was the woman my father married because she looked perfect in family photos. Let me rewind. My name is Maya. I was 16, and after my mom died, I learned how to become useful before I learned how to be okay. My dad had money, a big house, and a gift for disappearing whenever parenting became uncomfortable. He traveled for work, signed checks, and believed the calmest voice in the room. That voice belonged to Clara. Clara wore pearl earrings, cream blazers, and the kind of smile adults trusted before she finished a sentence. She ran Bright Paws and Families, a charity for foster kids, sick children, and animal shelters. In public, she was kindness with a microphone. At home, she walked past Leo's bad coughing days like they were background noise and told me, "Maya, don't make him dramatic. He copies your panic." So I handled Leo's school forms. I packed his emergency bag. I checked on him after school because Clara was always too busy saving the community. The only place I felt like myself was the animal rescue behind the county road. That was where I found Rusty, a limping stray dog with one torn ear. The shelter was full, so I fed him behind our garage. He followed me like I was the first person who had not given up on him. Clara hated him. "That filthy dog goes," she said one night. "He has nowhere else." She looked at me like I had said something embarrassing. Neither did you until I made this family respectable again. If you already know people can hide cruelty behind perfect manners, comment mask. The first time jewelry appeared in my backpack, I thought someone had made a mistake. A gold bracelet I had never seen before was tucked under my math notebook. I brought it to Clara. She covered her mouth, soft and shocked. "Oh, Maya." My stomach dropped. "What?" "That bracelet was donated for the gala auction." I didn't take it. I want to believe that. That sentence scared me more than yelling. After that, things kept appearing. Earrings in my drawer, a watch in my gym bag, a donation envelope behind my books. Clara always found them first. Then she started whispering to my father. She is grieving in strange ways. She may be acting out. She has been taking little things and forgetting. Dad looked tired. "Maya, just tell the truth." "I am." Clara touched his arm. People who are spiraling often believe they are. That was how she trapped me. Not with one lie. With objects I could not explain. Then Julian came in. Julian was debate captain, student council treasurer, and the boy teachers trusted with keys. I had liked him since freshman year. He found me behind the library after Clara accused me of taking a donated necklace. "I know you didn't do it," he said. I hated how fast my eyes burned. He said, "Clara's charity records look weird. If you need help, I can look." For 1 week, I believed him. I told him Clara kept finding things in my bag. I told him Dad was starting to believe her. I told him about Rusty, Leo, and the rooms that felt arranged to make me look guilty. Julian listened with a serious face. Then he sold the map of my fear to the woman who needed it. I learned that later. At the time, all I knew was that Clara got bolder. At dinner, she placed a printed bank form beside my plate. "Maya," she said carefully, "why is there an account in your name receiving charity transfers?" My fork froze. Dad picked up the paper. I had never opened that account. I did not even know what bank it was. Clara's eyes shined like she was about to cry. "I did not want to bring this to your father, but the gala is in 3 days, and if money is missing, I didn't do this." Dad looked at the paper, then at me. Your name is on it! My name is on a lot of school forms. That doesn't mean I signed them. Clara flinched like I had slapped her. Julian texted me that night. Do not fight her in public. Let me help. That was the message that made me answer him. That was my mistake. The gala was held at the old downtown hotel. Glass chandeliers, white tablecloths, auction tables covered in donated jewelry and handbags. Julian stood beside the laptop because student council was running the official gala feed. He joked that the whole town was watching. Near the auction table, a woman with silver glasses stopped Clara with a ledger under one arm. Clara, she said, some of these auction tags do not match the donor receipts. Clara smiled. Miss Ortega, please. Tonight is not the night for paperwork. Miss Ortega did not smile back. I am the board treasurer. Paperwork is why donors trust us. Clara's fingers tightened around her black designer purse. I noticed that so did Julian. A few minutes later, the projector came on. At first, the screen showed charity numbers. Then, a recording played through the speakers. My voice, cut into pieces. I took it. The money. No one would believe them. I needed things. The room went silent. My father stood so fast, his chair scraped the floor. I looked at Julian. He would not look back. Clara put one hand on her chest. Maya, sweetheart, what have you done? I said, that is not what I said. But crowds do not need full truth. They only need permission. People stared at me like I had stolen from sick kids, rescue animals, and every person Clara had ever smiled at. Leo grabbed my hand. Maya? I pulled him away before I cried in front of them. Behind the ballroom, near the coat room, I heard Clara's voice. You promised the audio would be clean. Julian snapped back. You promised my money would be transferred before tonight. I froze. Clara said, You are a teenager with a laptop. Do not threaten me. And you are moving charity money through Maya's name, Julian said. So maybe be nicer. My heart hit my ribs. Leo whispered, What's happening? I pulled him into the small changing room beside the kitchen corridor. Through the cracked door, I heard enough. Julian had found Clara's secret weeks earlier. Instead of exposing her, he demanded a cut. Clara used him to plant jewelry, run the projector, and stitch my voice into the fake confession. Then Clara stormed past the doorway. Her purse caught on a metal garment hook. The lining tore with a small ripping sound. Something black and plastic slipped out and hit the floor under the bench. Clara did not notice. Julian did. So did I. I did not grab the purse. I did not hide anything in my pocket. I kicked the plastic piece deeper under the bench before Julian could bend for it. Then I opened the side door and saw Zane. Zane was not my boyfriend or some perfect hero. He was the boy everyone avoided because he had tattoos, quiet eyes, and a rumor attached to his name. What they left out was why. He had hurt someone who was abusing a dog behind the gym. That dog was Rusty. Rusty stood beside him at the kitchen door, tail low, eyes fixed on me. I whispered, Get Miss Ortega! The black purse ripped. Don't let Julian near this room. Zane looked once at Leo, once at my face, and ran. If someone sets you up with objects, only objects can answer back. Comment proof if you understand that. Miss Ortega arrived with hotel security before Julian could return. She crouched, saw the plastic piece under the bench, and looked at me. Did you touch this? No. Good. She picked it up by the edge with a napkin and sealed it in a clear event envelope. Her hands were steady, but her face had changed. This belongs with the ledger, she said. That was when Clara saw us. Her smile vanished. She looked at the envelope in Miss Ortega's hand, then at Leo beside me. Maya, she said quietly, you have no idea what you just did. I did not do anything, I said. You did. Her eyes moved to Leo. That was when she stopped pretending to be a stepmother. She told Leo Dad needed him near the kitchen hallway. He trusted adults. He followed before I could grab him. Seconds later, I heard him call my name from the service side. I ran. The kitchen staff were busy with the gala. The back hall was almost empty. Leo stood near the cold room door, scared and confused. "Clara said your bag was in there," he said. My heart dropped. Before I could pull him away, Clara appeared behind us. "You should have stayed grateful," she said. Then the door shut. I will not pretend every second was clear. It was cold. Leo was scared. I kept him close and told him to look at me, not the door. I kept saying, "You are here. I am here. Help is coming." I hoped I was not lying. Outside the door, the gala applause rose again. That is where the story began. Rusty found us first. I heard frantic barking. Then Zane shouted. Then hotel staff. The door opened with kitchen staff, Zane, and Rusty crowding the hall. Leo cried into my jacket. Zane looked at Clara across the corridor and said, "You are done." But Clara was not done. People like Clara do not lose when they are caught. They lose when the room can no longer pretend not to hear them. She told the kitchen manager it was a misunderstanding. She said I had hidden in the cold room to create a scene. She said Leo panicked because I panicked. She said the USB belonged to her charity, and I had tried to steal it from her purse. Dad arrived, pale and confused. Clara reached for him. "She is unstable. She is trying to ruin everything." For 1 second, I thought he would believe her again. Then a speaker in the hallway cracked with feedback. Julian had left the official gala feed running. Earlier, he had bragged that the whole town was watching. Zane had not started a secret stream. He told Miss Ortega the open feed was still live. Miss Ortega had moved the hallway microphone closer because she already had mismatched auction tags, donor receipts, and the torn purse USB in a sealed envelope. The ballroom did not hear a perfect confession. They heard enough. They heard Clara call the fake account Maya's problem now. They heard her say the jewelry in my bag would make my father choose her. They heard Julian shout, "You said I'd get paid before the board checked the transfers." Then Miss Ortega stepped into the hall with the ledger open. "That is enough," she said. Clara laughed once. "You cannot prove anything from hallway noise." Miss Ortega held up the envelope. "I do not need hallway noise. I have donor receipts that do not match your auction tags, transfer records tied to an account opened under a minor's name, Julian's projector login, and now the drive from your own purse lining." Julian backed toward the exit. Zane stepped in front of Leo, not Julian. He was not trying to look brave. He was making sure my brother did not become Clara's next lie. Security kept Clara away from us, while the board called the police. The charity accounts were frozen that night. Julian was named in the setup. The fake account under my name was documented as identity misuse, not theft. My father watched it all with his hand shaking. When Clara passed me, she whispered, "After everything I gave you?" I looked at Leo. I looked at Rusty leaning against Zane's leg. Then I looked back at her. "You didn't give me a family," I said. "You rented my pain and called it charity." That was the last time Clara spoke to me without a lawyer in the room. Afterward, Dad tried to apologize in the hotel lobby. He said he had been blind. He said Clara had fooled everyone. He said he loved me. I wanted those words to fix something. They did not. I said, "You were my father. Your job was to believe Mo before strangers had to prove I was worth believing," he cried. I did not comfort him. The next week, Leo and I stayed with my aunt while the adults handled what they should have caught sooner. Rusty came with us, officially this time. Julian lost his debate title, his recommendation letters, and the perfect boy mask he had worn like a uniform. Clara lost the charity, the house keys, the accounts, and the audience she had loved more than any child. And me? I stopped trying to be easy. I applied for a scholarship under my own name. I put every school form in a folder Dad could not access without me. I kept Leo's emergency bag where I could see it because I was done letting careless adults call responsibility drama. The last time Dad asked when I was coming home, I told him the truth. I don't know if that house was ever home. He said, "Maya, I'm still your father." I said, "Then start acting like one from a distance." Maybe one day I will forgive him. But forgiveness is not a door people get to unlock from the outside. Clara shows her image. Julian chose money. My father chose the calmest liar in the room. I chose Leo. I chose Rusty. I chose the truth, with my name on it. So tell me honestly, if your own father watched someone frame you and only believed you after the whole town saw proof, would you give him another chance? Comment chance or never.